I just hopped onto I didn't hop on. I decided I would try this Dalgona coffee that I keep seeing on the internet, and it does not disappoint. On a totally unrelated note, today we are talking about suspense. Dylan, cue the intro. What's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alyssa. I am a writer, editor, full-time 9-to-5 employee, and I co-own my own publishing business called Kingdom Books. Excuse me a moment, my cat wants out of my room. We're back. Today I am taking part in the second installment of Wordstock, the Authortube Seminar Series originally created by the Story Detective. And there is going to be a bunch of us author-tubers talking about the difference between suspense and tension. I'm just going to be covering the topic of suspense. So let's get into this. What is suspense? So suspense is a feeling that exists outside of the realm of the story. It is something that the reader feels, not the character. It's that general feeling of excitement, anxiety, or uncertainty that you feel about characters that you care about. When you don't know what's going to happen with them, you're either excited for the possibilities or you're scared of the possibilities. It's kind of like, if I could liken this to a scary movie, which I don't watch, but I've been through a couple haunted houses before. The fake ones, not the real ones. I don't touch that real stuff. But like when you know something is gonna jump out at you, and it's not that you're necessarily scared, like maybe a zombie wouldn't normally scare you, but you know that a zombie is going to jump out at you. And so you feel this within your body, like you're on edge, like, oh my gosh, when's it coming? I know it's gonna come. And you're tense. It's not tension, but you could feel tense. And that is the feeling of suspense. And it's something that is necessary for your readers because it will keep them turning pages like no other tool I know about. At least for me, my favorite scenes in books are ones that have a lot of suspense because I live for that kind of thing. I have examples. I brought references with me today. 2 books, very big books. I am a huge fantasy fan. So I picked Eye of the World by Robert Jordan and Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. There will be spoilers, so if for some reason you haven't read one of these books but you're thinking you're going to, maybe don't listen to these examples. But Robert Jordan, I think, does such a good job of creating suspense in his books. He has some of my favorite scenes. This one I'm going to share takes place within a dream, and if you've read the book you know, but there's a lot of dream sequences that take place and they kind of happen in this alternate dream realm type of deal, but they can have effects on what's happening in the actual physical world that the characters normally live in as well. So this is the happening, one of the main characters, his name is Rand, is encountering the main antagonist, at least in this first book, in this dream, and suspense ensues. So I'm just gonna read this real quick. Okay. No, Rand muttered. This is a dream. It's a dream. Do you think you are safe from me in your dreams? Look. Baal-Alzamon pointed commandingly, and Rand's head turned to follow. Although he did not turn it. He didn't want to turn. The goblet was gone from the table. Where it had been crouched a large rat, blinking in the light, sniffing the air warily. But Alzamon crooked his finger, and with a squeak, the rat arched its back, 4 paws lifting into the air while it balanced awkwardly on its hind feet. The finger curved more, and the rat toppled over, scrambling frantically, pawing at nothing, squealing shrilly, its back bending. With a sharp snap, like the breaking of a twig, the rat trembled violently and was still, lying bent, almost double. Rand swallowed. Anything can happen in a dream, he mumbled. Without looking, he swung his fist back against the door again. His hand hurt, but he still did not wake up. Then go to the Aes Sedai. Go to the White Tower and tell them. Tell them the Amaryl's seat of this dream. The man laughed. Rand felt the heat of the flames on his face. That is one way to escape them. They will not use you then. No, not when they know what I know. But will they let you live to spread the tale of what they do? Are you a big enough fool to believe they will? The ashes of many like you are scattered on the slopes of Dragon Mount. This is a dream, Rand said, panting. It's a dream and I'm going to wake up. Will you? Out of the corner of his eye, he saw the man's finger move to point at him. Will you indeed? The finger crooked and Rand screamed as he arched backwards, every muscle in his body forcing him further. Will you ever wake again? Talk about suspense. This scene has stuck with me. It's one that I remember so vividly, even though I read this book back in middle school, which was 20-something years ago or whatever. And that scene has stuck with me because of the amount of suspense I felt, because you're wondering if he wakes up, is he going to be able to walk again? Will he be permanently paralyzed? It happens in this portion of the book, so you figure he's probably not gonna die, but you're left wondering, what the hell happens to Rand? So, yeah, that was a very good suspense scene for myself. I apologize for the reading. Dylan, if maybe you want to put this disclaimer. I tend to stumble on my words a little bit when I read books, so if that happens, that's why. Second example, Kingdom of Ash, Sarah J. Maas. Okay, this example of suspense, I found it very suspenseful anyway, happens with the couple, although I don't know if they're officially a couple. I'm still in the middle of reading this book. Elide and Lorcan, I don't know if that's how you say their names, because Sarah J. Maas tends to have her characters' names pronounced very oddly, even for fantasy. But I love this couple. I have not loved any couple ever, I think. They may be my favorite coupling in all of Coupleverse. And they've not liked each other very much for this book. Lorcan sort of screwed that up. But it comes to this point where there's a battle, and Lorcan is pretty much dead and left in the battlefield. People forgot about him because they're fighting for their own lives and whatnot. So he's just there out on the battlefield under all of these dead demon dudes and bleeding out. And Elide is the only one who notices he's gone. And she's like, oh my gosh, I gotta find him. There's this dam that's about to break and he's still out there alive. It's gonna kill him for reals and I gotta find him before that happens. Promised I would find him. So, this is her finding him. She found him and everything was going to be okay until this part of the book. So, here's the scene. Once the dam broke, it would take less than a minute for the tidal wave to reach them. It's from Lorcan's point of view. She had come for him. She had found him. The world went quiet. The pain in his body faded into nothing, into something secondary. Lorcan slid his other arm around Elide, bringing his mouth close to her ear as he said, "You have to let me go." Each word was gravelly, his voice strained, nearly to the point of uselessness. Elide didn't shift her focus from the keep ahead. No. The gentle quiet flowed around him, clearing the fog of pain and battle. You have to, Elide. I'm too heavy, and without my weight, you might make it to the keep in time. No! The salt of her tears filled his nose. Lorcan brushed his mouth over her damp cheek, ignoring the roaring pain in his body. The horse galloped and galloped as if she might outrace death itself. I love you, he whispered in Elide's ear. I have loved you from the moment you picked up that axe to slay the Ilkin. Her tears flowed past him in the wind. And I will be with you. His voice broke, but he made himself say the words, the truth in his heart. I will be with you, always. He was not frightened of what would come for him once he tumbled off the horse. He was not frightened at all, if it meant her reaching the keep. Y'all, I'm not Southern. I just said y'all. I may have screamed when I read that the first time, because they just found each other, and then he was gonna go off and die anyway. And, that, for me as a reader, was just unacceptable. I felt an extreme amount of anxiety for what was about to happen to my favorite character and to my favorite couple. Thankfully, that didn't happen. They are still both alive, presently a little but 3/4 way into the book, so it turned out okay. But that's suspense. When you are so heavily invested in a character that it makes you have a physical reaction, you know you've done suspense correctly. So, if there was any doubt about what suspense is in a book, I hope I have helped clear it up a little bit. It doesn't always have to be so drastic, like a life or death situation. Those are just examples that it's very clear to tell when there's suspense going on. And for me, they're my favorite because I am a high stakes sort of person. But I imagine, I haven't read a lot of like contemporary romance, but I could foresee there being some sort of scene where maybe there's an interest, like a main character love interest type of deal, where one character is like about to profess their love for another, and you don't know if the other person's going to reciprocate, but you want them to reciprocate, or maybe you really don't want them to reciprocate, but you're heavily invested in that outcome and you don't know what's going to happen. That too would be another way of creating suspense in your characters. As I said before, it is extremely important to include suspense of some sort in your novel because it is super engaging for the reader, and I'm sure I'm not the only reader out there, but my favorite scenes in books tend to be the ones that are the most suspenseful. They're the ones that stick, they're the ones that you remember really well because you have a very heavily invested emotion into the outcome. So, use suspense, and I would say use it a lot, but you know, maybe that's just me. That's all I have for today. If you want to hear some of the other videos in the Authortube Seminar Series, I'll have a link down to the playlist below. Make sure you check out the other AuthorTubers and give them some love, and we can just help support and build this AuthorTube community. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to receive weekly videos about how to develop tools, mindsets, habits, those sorts of things, and becoming a successful authorpreneur, go ahead and subscribe. Videos go up every Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, bye!